MS-13. You know about MS-13? It's not pleasant for them anymore.
They rule cities, command armies, and move billions of dollars through the black market every single year. These aren't just street thugs. They're global empires built on fear, blood, and power. From the dark alleys of Central America to the neon skylines of Tokyo and Moscow, these organizations control everything from narcotics to politics. What makes them terrifying isn't just their violence, it's their reach. Their networks cross borders, infiltrating police forces, governments, and even the digital world. And while most people live their lives unaware, these syndicates quietly shape the balance of power from the shadows. Today, we're uncovering the 10 most dangerous gangs on the planet, groups so powerful that even nations struggle to contain them. Some you've heard of, others you've never imagined exist. But they all share one thing in common: absolute dominance through fear. Number 1, Millisecond 13, the Brutal Brotherhood. It began in Los Angeles during the 1,980 seconds, a group of Salvadoran immigrants trying to survive in gang-ridden streets. But survival turned into domination. That group became MS-13, short for Mara Salvatrucha, and over decades it evolved into one of the most feared and violent gangs on earth. Their haunting tattoos and ruthless initiation rituals became symbols of terror. What began as protection for a community transformed into a network spanning El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, and the United States. The FBI once called them the most dangerous gang in America. Their crimes range from drug trafficking and human smuggling to assassinations. But what truly scares authorities is their structure: commands issued from inside prisons through coded messages that even experts struggle to decode. Law enforcement has tried for years to break them, yet MS-13 only grows stronger, feeding off poverty, corruption, and fear. Their power doesn't come from chaos alone. It comes from being everywhere at once. But if MS-13 controls the streets, the next gang built an empire that controls nations. Number 2, Sinaloa Cartel, the empire El Chapo built. If MS-13 is chaos, the Sinaloa Cartel is precision. Born in Mexico's Sinaloa state, it rose from mountain smugglers to one of the richest and most organized cartels in history. At its center stood Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, a man who turned drug trafficking into a billion-dollar industry. Cocaine, heroin, meth, fentanyl, Sinaloa controlled it all. Their roots spanned continents, rivaling legitimate corporations in scale and efficiency. But their real strength was control, corrupting police, bribing officials, and influencing elections. When El Chapo was captured, many thought it was over. It wasn't. The cartel fractured, but it didn't fall. Today, El Chapo's sons, Los Chapitos, lead bloody wars against rivals like the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. Armed with military-grade weapons and endless cash, Sinaloa remains one of the most powerful criminal networks on earth. El Chapo may be behind bars, but his empire still breathes. And while Mexico's war rages in the open, Japan's underworld has perfected the art of ruling quietly. Number 3, Yakuza, Japan's silent syndicate. In Japan, crime doesn't always hide, it walks openly. The Yakuza are more than a gang. They're an institution, centuries old, with roots deep in Japan's economy and politics. For decades, they maintained public offices, printed business cards, and ran companies while managing gambling, extortion, and real estate schemes. Some even paid taxes. Their image was polished, their power absolute. But beneath that civility lies cruelty. Members who betray orders face 𝐬𝐵𝐷𝐶𝐽, the ritual cutting of a finger in apology. Their code of honor masks a system built on fear and lifelong loyalty. When the 2011 tsunami struck, the Yakuza, not the government, were the first to deliver supplies. That's how deeply they're embedded in Japan's fabric. Crackdowns have reduced their numbers, but they've evolved, shifting into cybercrime and digital fraud. While the Yakuza wear suits, the next gang rules with silence and cold efficiency. Number 4, Bratva, the Russian Mafia. From the ruins of the Soviet Union rose the Bratva, or Russian Mafia, one of the most powerful and secretive syndicates on the planet. They aren't led by one boss, but by dozens of brigades, each operating independently across Russia, Europe, and the Americas. Their empire runs on arms trafficking, cybercrime, money laundering, and political corruption. Unlike other gangs, the Bratva doesn't crave fame. They infiltrate systems, not streets. Their leaders invest in banks, energy firms, and shipping companies, quietly merging crime with business. Intelligence agencies have long suspected their ties to political elites, where the line between state and syndicate disappears. Their violence is rare but calculated. Enemies vanish, fortunes change hands, and nations shift without a single gunshot on record. While the Bratva control systems, another ancient brotherhood has been perfecting the art of secrecy for centuries. Number 5. The Triads, China's hidden web. Centuries before the word mafia existed, China had the Triads, secret brotherhoods born from rebellion that turned into criminal dynasties. Operating from Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, and far beyond, the Triads are a web of independent groups involved in drug trafficking, gambling, counterfeiting, and cybercrime. Their strength lies in loyalty and mystery orders, whispered through ritual and blood oaths. Initiation ceremonies resemble ancient rites, complete with candles, oaths, and symbolic offerings. Betrayal isn't punished by law, it's erased from existence. In modern times, they've gone global, controlling billions through front companies and digital currencies. They prefer to stay invisible, owning the shadows instead of fighting for the spotlight. But while the Triads rule in silence, Italy's southern underworld thrives on chaos and blood. Number 6. Camorra, the Neapolitan nightmare. In Naples, Italy, the Camorra turned chaos into a business model. Unlike the rigid Sicilian mafia, the Camorra is fragmented hundreds of clans, constantly battling for dominance. Their wars have drenched the streets in blood, transforming Naples into one of Europe's deadliest cities. Their power comes from versatility: drugs, waste management, counterfeiting, and construction, all backed by corruption. They don't hide in the shadows, they blend in, laundering billions through fashion, tourism, and entertainment industries. Police may take down one clan, but another rises instantly. For the Camorra, chaos isn't a weakness, it's survival. And while they fight for control of one city, another Italian family quietly conquered continents. Number 7. 'Ndrangheta, the invisible billionaires. From Calabria's rugged mountains came the 'Ndrangheta, a syndicate so secretive that for decades, authorities didn't even know its full structure. Built entirely on family bloodlines, betrayal is nearly impossible. That's why they've never been infiltrated. Today, they control around 80% of Europe's cocaine trade, partnering directly with South American cartels. Their empire stretches across continents, investing in real estate, tourism, and legitimate businesses. They don't flaunt their power, they hide it in plain sight. Wealthier than the Sicilian mafia, deadlier than the Camorra, the 'Ndrangheta is proof that real power doesn't roar, it whispers. But while they move in silence, another army of street soldiers fights for survival in broad daylight. Number 8. 18th Street Gang, the Street Soldiers. The 18th Street Gang, or Barrio 18, was born in Los Angeles but now spans the Americas. With tens of thousands of members, it's one of the largest transnational gangs in history. They recruit young, sometimes children, and demand total loyalty. Betrayal means death. Once allies of MS-13, the two became bitter enemies, sparking one of the most violent rivalries in the Western Hemisphere. Inside prisons, Barrio 18's leaders control operations through coded messages, managing drug sales and orchestrating killings from behind bars. Governments have tried military crackdowns and mass arrests, but the gang only grows stronger. Because for many of its members, the gang isn't just power, it's survival. And from the chaos of the streets came a group that turned military training into mass terror. Number 9. Los Zetas, the cartel of ex-soldiers. When Mexico's elite soldiers went rogue, they became Los Zetas, the most violent cartel the country has ever seen. Formed in the 1992 by defected special forces, Los Zetas brought military discipline to organized crime. They used encrypted radios, ambush tactics, and public displays of terror to dominate territories. Their message was clear: no one is safe. From politicians to journalists, no target was off limits. At their peak, they controlled vast regions, smuggling drugs, oil, and weapons across borders. Eventually, internal wars and government pressure fractured the group, but their legacy of brutality changed cartel warfare forever. And while Mexico battled its demons, Another force in South America rose from prison cells to power. Number 10. PCC, the Brazilian powerhouse. In 1993, inside one of Brazil's deadliest prisons, inmates founded the Primeiro Comando da Capital, or PCC. What began as a brotherhood for survival became a criminal empire, controlling Brazil's underworld. Operating from behind bars, PCC leaders run drug routes across South America, commanding loyalty through a strict internal code. Their power was exposed in 2006 when they launched coordinated attacks across São Paulo, paralyzing the city and proving they could challenge the state itself. Today, the PCC controls prisons, police, and politicians. Their influence extends beyond Brazil, linking with cartels across the continent. When one command can shut down a nation, that's not a gang, it's a shadow government. And together these groups form a web of global power that law enforcement may never fully unravel. From Los Angeles to Tokyo, Naples to Sao Paulo, these syndicates prove that true power often hides in the dark. They were born from poverty, corruption, and desperation, but evolved into global empires that rival governments. For decades, nations have fought them with prisons, armies, and politics. Yet they endure because crime isn't just about violence. It's about control. They move economies, silence enemies, and rewrite laws through fear. And while the world watches politicians and CEOs, these unseen rulers shape the future from the shadows. Because the world's most dangerous gangs don't just rule streets, they rule the world you don't see.